Right now at 6, a teenager is rescued from a burning home in Joplin.
Another chilly start to the day. Warm out there once again. Clouds increasing once again. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, top Trump officials brief lawmakers on military strikes that killed 8 people on alleged drug boats.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6 a.m., I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, December the 17th. We're halfway through the week, getting closer to Christmas. Just a few days left for that shopping. So hopefully you're getting it done, and hopefully you're doing so while it's warm. Because it's, Colt and I, we went shopping on Saturday when it was really cold and windy. We're guys. We already don't like the shopping part. And then to be out there with the crowds and the cold was not fun. So if you got some shopping to do, now's a pretty good time to get it done.
Yeah, because it really doesn't feel like December outside.
It certainly does. I went out in a t-shirt yesterday to go pick up our youngest from the bus. And as I walked to the car, I was like, this isn't natural. It's December. This isn't right at all. But that's how it's been. Let's start with our live look downtown Pittsburgh. Again, we've got clear skies this morning, much like what we had yesterday morning as well. But much like yesterday morning, clouds are going to begin to increase pretty quickly as we head into the mid-morning and afternoon hours. Different cameras around the region, though. Again, we're looking pretty good from the KDOT camera 69400 along 171 there, and the MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Looking good so far. Quick look at those numbers for you, though. 35 in Joplin, 30 in Pittsburgh, so cold, but still technically above average. Now, some of us are at or even a little below average. We have this weak boundary it's pushing through. That's why it's a little colder to the northwest. Sedan is still the cold spot. It's 25, and over in parts of southeast Kansas, we've got low mid-20 or mid-upper 20s. Whew. And then we get ahead of that, and we got some warm spots. Look at Cassville, 42 degrees out there to start the day. Now, Future Track does believe a sprinkle or two may be possible as these clouds increase, but we're not looking at any kind of widespread rain during the daytime hours. And by the time we get past 4 o'clock or so, we will just simply be cloudy. That's another change from the last couple of days. Instead of going mostly cloudy still, it is cloudy across the region. And then overnight, winds increase out of the south, and our temperatures will begin to increase as well. And we're going to go about 40 for kids heading out the door. We're going to go 56 for lunch and recess, 57 as they head home later today. Our highs, mid-upper 50s, couple of low 60s, not out of the question. Temperatures will start leveling out this evening before they rise again overnight. We'll hit our early highs tomorrow morning. We got some shower chances. We got very gusty winds. We have that cold front. We're going to talk about all of that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. We're following breaking news out of Joplin this morning following a police pursuit. KOAM's Shannon Becker joins us live from the scene with more details. Shannon.
did suffer.
We apologize. We are having some audio issues ongoing right now. We do have information about this ongoing breaking news story on our social media as well as our website, KLAMnewsnow.com, where you can find out some more of those details, and we'll continue to provide you updates as they become available. Well, a house fire on South Pearl Street in Joplin yesterday forced the closure of West 7th to allow fire crews access to a hydrant. Thick smoke was visible from nearly a mile away. Witnesses say a man with a ladder helped rescue a teenager trapped on a second-floor balcony. One person suffered smoke inhalation and was transported to the hospital. Fire investigators said the fire was accidental and originated in the kitchen near the stove. Well, an accident halted traffic in Castro Valley when a car flew off a tow truck, crashed through a fence, and landed on the BART tracks, causing hours of delays and leaving dozens of riders stranded. Crews used a crane to remove the car after nearly 3 hours, but multiple drivers faced long waits and soaring rideshare prices. BART partially reopened with single track service while crews continued overnight repairs, with no estimate yet on when normal operations will resume. The Trump administration is defending attacks on alleged Venezuelan drug boats. The military has carried out more than 24 attacks, but there are questions about the legality of the action. Erica Brown has more details from Capitol Hill.
Top Trump administration officials briefed lawmakers on Capitol Hill Tuesday about U.S. military operations targeting alleged drug boats, including recent strikes on 3 boats in the Pacific that killed 8.
Provided a lot of information, obviously classified, so I can't share it with you, but obviously some will agree, some will disagree, but it's important we keep Congress informed.
But some lawmakers were dissatisfied with the briefing and continue to question the legality of the strikes.
We're all in favor of stopping the flow of narcotics, cocaine and fentanyl, but there are ways to do it without killing in this kind of combatant situation.
Others suggested U.S. actions against Venezuela don't go far enough. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina says he wants to see Venezuela's leader Nicolas Maduro ousted.
You cannot allow this man to be standing after this display of force, and I did not get a very good answer as to what happens next.
The briefings come amid the ongoing scrutiny over a lethal second strike on a suspected drug boat carried out after those on board survived the first strike. Now lawmakers are pushing for the release of the full footage of that deadly September 2nd strike.
The administration came to this briefing empty-handed.
Administration officials say only members of the House and Senate Armed Services Committees will be shown footage of that second strike.
We're not going to release a top secret, full unedited video of that to the general public.
President Trump has threatened more U.S. military action in Venezuela, saying strikes on land targets will begin soon. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
California Senator Adam Schiff announced he plans to put forth a unanimous consent request, which would force the administration to publicly release the September 2nd video. But it's unlikely to pass, as any senator can object and the motion will go nowhere. Well, Southeast School District Board members voted to close a century-old building in Weir, Kansas. The main building of the elementary school came under close scrutiny earlier this year after water damage caused mold problems. Structural inspections revealed additional concerns throughout the facility, with potential repairs pricing up to at least $750,000, an amount the district says they cannot afford to pay. The current grade arrangements will remain in place, with pre-K through 2nd grade remaining in adjacent buildings on the current elementary school grounds. Well, Joplin City Manager fires back in a heated dispute with the outreach group Hopeful Bites. The city says it wants to help the group continue serving meals to people in need, but city ordinances must be followed. KLAM's Blake Goley has the story.
Our intent was to partner and collaborate with them, right? We want Hopeful Bites to be successful in their work. It's great work.
Great work the volunteer outreach group is doing serving community members in need meals currently outside City Hall. The city manager of Joplin says the city has worked to create paths for Hopeful Bites to continue serving the community, but adds that the city ordinances must still be followed.
There are better locations that don't interfere with the trolley stop, the loading and unloading of passengers from the trolley. Don't impede the sidewalks from people trying to access City Hall. And then there's also the food issues and being able to serve that safely so we're not getting people sick.
I'm standing in the parking lot behind City Hall in an area in which the city manager says is being offered to Hopeful Bites if they want to continue their outreach in downtown Joplin.
One of our thoughts was maybe they could use a section of the City Hall parking lot directly connected to City Hall where people could come and gather the food that they needed.
But Hopeful Bites says the conversation needs to go beyond location, arguing the city must rethink how it addresses poverty and homelessness in the community.
My goal would be to get them to make a drastic change on how they are handling certain issues related to poverty in this community.
The volunteer group says they've been contacted by several organizations for assistance moving forward, options they say they are currently reviewing. Reporting in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Rob Reiner's son charged.
The son of acclaimed director Rob Reiner is now facing murder charges. I'm Gwen Baumgartner with the very latest on the investigation and when Nick Reiner could face a judge.
Plus, Christina Aguilera celebrates 25 years of holiday music with a Christmas special filmed in Paris. And gusty winds with a chance of showers. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching Topping Nation Watch. Prosecutors announced the youngest son of film director Rob Reiner will be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and the weekend killing of his parents and could face the death penalty. As Gwen Baumgarten reports, this comes as more details are emerging about his behavior the night before the murders.
Los Angeles prosecutors announced Tuesday film director Rob Reiner's son Nick will be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the killing of his parents.
Today I'm here to announce that our office will be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders.
Nick Reiner will also be charged with the use of a deadly weapon. Reiner was not in court on Tuesday for medical reasons.
Once he is medically cleared, he will be brought to court to be arraigned on these charges.
Reiner was last seen with his parents Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. 2 sources there say the family argued. One telling People magazine, Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous. The following afternoon, Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found stabbed to death in their Brentwood home. Nick was arrested Sunday night. He has retained defense attorney Alan Jackson. Jackson previously represented Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Karen Reed. If Nick Reiner is found guilty of the current charges, he faces life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Prosecutors have not decided whether they will seek the death penalty.
This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city. We extend our deepest condolences to all of those who were affected by this tragedy.
Nick Reiner is being held without bail. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's our top Nation Watch story. Well, still to come, avid readers become a dying breed as Americans lose out on reading's health benefits. Plus, gusty winds with a chance of showers. Chris has a look at your forecast. A psychological thriller featuring Sydney Sweeney premieres this week, and a new holiday special for Christmas week. CBS's Christian Benavides has that and more on today's Eye on Entertainment.
A holiday special hosted by Christina Aguilera will feature special performances of her holiday classics and greatest hits. Christina Aguilera, Christmas in Paris, will be filmed in front of an intimate audience with the Eiffel Tower as the backdrop. The special will also mark the 25th anniversary of her holiday album, My Kind of Christmas. You can watch the special Monday at 9 on CBS or stream on Paramount+. Get ready for a new season of the hit Netflix show Emily in Paris. Actress Lily Collins, who plays Emily Cooper, says this season the show traveled outside of France to Italy.
Nothing could prepare me for its beauty. Everyone was so warm and inviting. The food was amazing. We got so lucky with the weather. And it was the perfect backdrop for our show.
You can stream all episodes of Season 5 starting tomorrow. And Sydney Sweeney stars alongside Amanda Seyfried and Brandon Sklenar in the new movie The Housemaid.
Millie's going to be living with us.
She's going to live with us.
Andrew, I told you that.
Sweeney plays a young, destitute woman who finds work as a living maid for an affluent couple.
You're going to be screaming at the screen, you're going to be laughing, you're going to be crying.
The psychological thriller is based on the 2022 novel of the same name.
Everything that happens is very earned, and the way you feel at the end will be I think, cellularly shifted in the best way. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's something that you're going to want to talk about.
Housemaid hits theaters Friday. That's your eye on entertainment. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Well, certainly a lot of things to look out for. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got, again, a pretty cold start out there. Most of us above average, some of us a little below normal. We're all warming up again today. Clouds increasing. Go get some showers tomorrow, and then temperatures drop and winds pick up big time behind a cold front. Details when we come back. Time now, 6:21. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:23 on this Wednesday morning. Starting again with the future track. We're like the last couple of days. Clouds will begin to increase as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. We'll have south winds about 5 to 10. Future track believes a sprinkle or two is possible. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but any kind of rain chance during the day is extraordinarily low. Now, around 10 o'clock, midnight, we could get a couple of isolated showers here or there. It'll be later that we'll start to see a few more showers potentially pop up. Winds after midnight start increasing out of the south, gusting upwards of 35 miles an hour. And so what's going to ultimately happen, our temperatures are going to level out this evening, and then early tomorrow morning, our temperatures will climb with these gusty winds, and we're going to reach our highs very early tomorrow morning before temperatures drop behind the front. Still two potential scenarios with the rain chances. One looks like this at 1 a.m., but it looks like this at 7 a.m. We just have a couple isolated showers. The front rolls through. It's done. It's over. The other one is the one computer that, sometimes it's the one that's right, that suggests we might get a little more meaningful rainfall ahead of the front, and maybe even a rumble of thunder or two. If we do get this scenario, no severe weather is expected, but a couple of thunderstorms could be built into that. South winds ahead of the front will be gusting again upwards of 35, 40 miles an hour behind the front. And again, remember, this is one scenario. We may not have this rain happening at 7 a.m. It may be just a couple isolated showers, but the guarantees are behind the front. Winds will begin to ramp up after about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning out of the northwest. And some of these winds could gust to pretty intense levels. And what I mean by that is, remember, this criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning for winds is 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're looking at wind gusts tomorrow for some of us that could reach up to 55 miles an hour. So we're talking the potential for some very disruptive wind. Now, once the front pushes through, though, skies clear pretty quickly. And we'll start to just be sunny as we head through the afternoon with maybe a few passing clouds here or there. And it won't be until late in the evening on Thursday that those northwest winds will finally give us a break. So even though temperatures don't plummet on Thursday, you throw in a 50-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to feel like they're plummeting because they will drop from early in the morning through the afternoon and into the evening. For tomorrow, because of those winds, we do have wind advisories. These will kick in at 9 a.m. tomorrow and run through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Now, Topeka covers these counties up here, and according to Topeka, in their wind advisory, those winds, that's where it could reach 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Wichita, covering the rest here, says 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And remember, just because there aren't wind advisories yet elsewhere doesn't mean the winds suddenly stop being gusty once they cross those county lines. We're still looking at wind gusts outside of that in that 45-mile-an-hour range or so. So we could see additional wind advisories as we head into our Thursday. And for this morning, about 40 to start, low 50s by 11 a.m. Our highs today, mid-upper 50s, couple of low 60s, not out of the question. Temperatures level out this evening as clouds increase, and we hold steady. Then again, After midnight, 1 a.m., temperatures will climb. We'll reach our highs very early Thursday morning. Temperatures will then drop gradually through the day. Could have those showers. Skies will clear. We're down to the mid-20s for the low. We're near normal, pretty close to normal at least for Friday. And we start warming back up again. And yes, unfortunately, no white Christmas. In fact, a springtime Christmas as temperatures climb right around the mid-60s next week. Let's check your forecast. We're sitting over Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has adopted new guidance for hepatitis B vaccines for babies. Tuesday, the CDC signed off on the recommendation of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. The agency will now recommend shared decision-making between healthcare providers and mothers who test negative for the virus, instead of recommending babies be given the first vaccine dose at birth. Some health experts say the new approach will create confusion that could have serious consequences, but a member on the agency's vaccine panel noted the guidance is intended to give parents the choice. Well, do you have any good books on your holiday list this year? A recent survey shows less people are reading for fun in the U.S. Researchers say it's concerning since reading can have a significant impact on your health and well-being. Jared Hill has more.
Keandra Freeman says there's nothing like getting lost in a good book.
I think reading is very intimate.
Avid readers, once a dime a dozen, now apparently a dying breed among American adults.
If you're engrossed in the adulting life, then you don't really have time for yourself, and reading is a pleasure for self.
Over the past 20 years, reading for pleasure is down 40% among Americans 15 and older, according to a University of Florida survey. Study author Dr. Jill Sankey says the drop is concerning.
Other studies have shown associations between reading for pleasure and impacts on health, like improved well-being, relaxation, stress reduction, mental health, and even empathy.
While the study didn't look at why fewer people are reading, researchers suggest it's likely due to a number of factors, including less leisure time, the rise in digital media, and less access to bookstores and libraries.
I would have to schedule time to read versus it's a lot easier to just pick up your phone and look on social media.
While the decline in reading for fun may not come as a surprise, Dr. Sankey says the small number of parents who report reading to their kids is quite shocking. Just 2%.
It's important to reading readiness and early education readiness. Reading with kids is also a really important form of bonding, which is really important to health.
She stresses reading is one of the simplest devices in our public health toolkit and encourages more people to find a good page turner to get back into books. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The study analyzed data from over 236,000 Americans who participated in the American Time Use Survey. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the spirit of Christmas fills Lincoln Center as Pittsburgh Parks and Recreation hosts their Holiday Crafters Workshop.
And we've got clear skies to start the day. Clouds will be increasing though, and we're still above normal. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, we meet a Joplin family who has felt the difference the Toy Box Toy Drive has made for their holiday season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KLAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday, December 17th. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Halfway through this week. Christmas just over a week away, the day itself, but of course you're running out of shopping days. So
yes, really, you have just about a week of shopping. You left.
Do. You've got about a week and maybe 11 and a half hours left to do your shopping before places start closing up early. So hopefully you've got it done. Maybe you didn't make the mistake of going out when it was really cold this weekend. You want to go out when it's a little warmer, and it's going to be warm again today across the area. We'll start with our live look downtown Pittsburgh. And you can see a little daylight starting to come in from the other side. You see that little, you might have seen that little green thing going up in the sky. There's another viewer that messaged me about that, and I went back and I looked. It's, for some reason, it's a weird glare off of headlights on this camera lens, and it makes it look like there's some kind of alien spacecraft or meteor ascending from Pittsburgh, but it's just a weird way the camera lens picks up on those reflections there. 7th and Range line, our camera there looks good so far this morning. KDOT camera 69-400 along 171, looking good as well. And the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line, few folks getting their day started, probably got the heat on, still a little cold out there. 35 in Joplin, and then Pittsburgh, you're about average, 28. So a little colder, but still right about where we should be. And then we got a mix of temperatures. It's a weak boundary that's pushing through this morning, not doing much, but it has brought temperatures down to seasonable levels for most of southeastern Kansas. Ahead of that little boundary, though, we've still got some upper 30s out there. In fact, earlier Cassville was up to 42 degrees, but come back down a couple of degrees there. Clouds will be increasing through the morning into the afternoon. South winds about 5 to 10. Future Check says maybe a sprinkle or two possible. Not out of the question, but daytime rain very unlikely. It'll be overnight, or late this evening into the overnight, that we could get a shower or two across the area. Kids heading out the door this morning, about 40, depending on where you are. We'll go 56 for lunch and recess, 57 as they head home. Our highs will top out in the upper 50s with some low 60s here and there. We'll go mid 40s by 9, and then we warm up and we steady out. Is there a temperature drop? Once we get into the evening, clouds thicken up, and we're looking at temperatures. They might move a degree or two either way, but they'll hold pretty steady. And then they'll start warming up after midnight to our highs for tomorrow by 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then that front comes in, very gusty winds, some shower chances, and a temperature drop. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. We're following breaking news out of Joplin this morning following a police pursuit. KOAM's Shannon Becker joins us live from the scene with more details. Shannon.
Thanks, Samantha. Yeah, we're at 50th and South Main here in Joplin, where before 4 a.m. a police pursuit turned into an officer-involved shooting. We were here as that man was transported, a suspect was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. It began, like we said, before 4. A Joplin police officer observed what he thought was a possible DWI driver near 26th and South Main. It was traveling south on Main Street. Speeds over 100 miles an hour. He finally initiated a pursuit around 41st and Main Street. Vehicle continued traveling south and then onto Glendale Road to the west, and it crashed out just almost to Inspiration Point there on Glendale. The officer then was out of his vehicle approaching the crashed suspect vehicle, and it got out of the ditch and attempted to run him over. He did fire his duty weapon, the officer did, towards the vehicle, striking the suspect. Suspect then continued driving to the east then on Glendale, back here to where we are at 50th and Main. Officers were able to block that suspect vehicle in. Airbags were deployed, and he was taken into custody, suffering non-life-threatening gunshot wounds to a non-dangerous part of his body. We were here as he was being transported. It was no lights and sirens, a non-emergency. Joplin Police did request the assistance for the Missouri State Highway Patrol for investigation, and they were here on scene with us this morning. We'll expect more information with the Joplin Police coming up. The Joplin Police officer that fired his duty weapon was not injured, but will be on administrative leave until the investigation is complete. We're live at 50th and Main, an officer-involved shooting, part of a police pursuit. I'm Shannon Becker, live, KOAM News Now. Now, Samantha, back to you.
Thanks, Shannon. That is a story we will continue to follow. Well, the spirit of Christmas filled the Lincoln Center yesterday as the Pittsburgh Parks and Recreation Department hosted their Holiday Crafters Workshop. Participants created snowman-themed crafts, designed Christmas signs, and made special gifts for loved ones while enjoying hot cocoa and cookies. Well, every year, KOAM's Toy Box Toy Drive campaign helps put toys under the trees of some less fortunate families. Simply put, we couldn't do it without the work of our small army of volunteers. Year after year, some of those volunteers come from Miss Daisy's Home and Decor. Thanks to your donations, they were able to fill shopping carts with toys for many children in the 4 states, from Legos to stuffed animals and everything in between. For the folks at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor, giving back is a true labor of love. Abernathy Roofing has also been filling those shopping carts with Christmas cheer for our Toy Box campaign for years, and this year was no different. For the roofing company, the motivation to give back is the same. Well, thanks to KOAM's Toy Box campaign, many underprivileged children will be able to have a gift this holiday season. KOAM's Kenny Foreman introduces us to a Toy Box family in Joplin who appreciate the generosity of the community.
I got shoes on and then I get
This Christmas, 4-year-old Lonnie has at least one item on his wish list.
Got these bagels at Christmas. I got my dark chocolate at my Christmas, another dark chocolate at my Christmas, and drive it all the way home.
But even a Lego dump truck wasn't always a guarantee for Taylor Romero and her family due to financial struggles.
My husband had lost his job, and then it took us a little minute to find another one and get back on our feet. And I'm in college full-time, so on top of that, raising 3 kids and trying to have a job and be in college full-time is harder than it seems.
Thanks to Taylor's friend, she got connected with Toy Box, which is paving the way for a Christmas they can all remember.
We've been, unfortunately, in a very bad financial situation, so honestly, they're the reason that my kids can have Christmas this year, which is definitely a joy for all of us, especially the littles.
And after not always having a Christmas she could dream of, she's thankful for all the support during the season of giving.
My kids wouldn't have Christmas this year, and he's at an age where he can actually remember it now. And I remember that there were times where we couldn't necessarily afford a grand special Christmas, and having the kindness of others to kind of help us through that really made my childhood better and different.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. AI use at work jumps to 45% of employees, according to a new Gallup survey. In Consumer Watch, a new Gallup survey finds a growing number of Americans are using artificial intelligence at work. The survey shows between the second and third quarters of 2025, the amount of employees using AI at work increased from 40 to 45%. The survey also shows 23% of respondents say they frequently use AI. That is a 4% increase during the same period. Gallup says employees who work in knowledge-based jobs are more likely to use AI. More than 23,000 Americans were surveyed from August 5th to August 19th for the results. A new report from the Pew Research Center shows most American teens use YouTube and TikTok daily, with about 1 in 5 saying they're on those apps almost constantly. Experts warn this constant screen time can disrupt sleep and real-world social skills. The survey also found about 2/3 of teens have used AI chatbots like ChatGPT, while nearly a third using them daily. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now we've got clear skies to start. Clouds will start increasing again through the morning into the afternoon, and then we've got some changes on the way. We have that cold front tomorrow morning. We'll have early highs, temperatures falling, winds increasing. We could get some pretty powerful wind gusts tomorrow. I'm going to break down those details for you, tell you how much colder behind the front it's going to be, and when it warms up again, when the KOAM Morning News returns. Also got birthdays and anniversaries. Time now, 6:44. We'll be right back. All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states, and we are going to begin in Jasper with Wyatt Richardson celebrating birthday number 5 with love from your family. Happy birthday.
And in Chanute, Kansas, we have a double birthday. Winter and Isaac Coaster are celebrating some very happy birthdays today. Happy birthday, Winter and Isaac.
And we have got Jackson Bond in Riverton celebrating birthday number 11. Says happy birthday from your whole family.
And Boston Norton is celebrating a very happy birthday number 12. It says have the best day ever. Love Mom, Dad, and Anthony. Happy birthday, Boston.
And we've got Oakley Bogle also celebrating birthday number 12 in Bartlett, Kansas. Happy birthday.
And in Galena, Emmett Spivey is celebrating birthday number 13. It says happy birthday from Mom, Dad, and little sister.
And in Mulberry, April Llewellyn celebrating birthday number 50 today. Happy birthday.
And in Pittsburgh, Donna Ginter is celebrating birthday number 58. Happy birthday, Donna.
And then Keith Frobish celebrating birthday number 78 in Columbus. Says happy birthday from Cherokee County Rural High School class of 65. Happy birthday, Keith.
And in Crestline, Kansas, we have a very special anniversary for Dan and Barbara Duncan celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary to them.
That is quite a milestone there. Our birthday list continues with Larry Zaum in Columbus celebrating birthday number 65. Happy birthday.
And in Fort Scott, Kansas, James Baker is celebrating birthday number 65. It says happy birthday from your sister.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries out there. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Samantha has some very simple information for you to take down.
Yeah, they should pay attention to this email. They can see it on their screen as well. It's birthdays@KLAMnewsnow.com. There they can send their birthdays, their anniversaries, pictures they would like us to include so we can help celebrate them. But they should also pay attention to that deadline so we can make sure we get it in plenty of time to be able to celebrate them on their special day.
Of course, very important information. Some important weather information for you as well. In fact, this is my fault. I hadn't been looking at the fog tracker this morning. We haven't had fog the last few mornings, so I didn't think to glance at it. But take a look. We do have some pretty dense fog out there. Pittsburgh, Miami, both below 1 mile visibility. Now, we've shown our Pittsburgh camera, and it looks okay from downtown, but you can see parts of Barton, Crawford, Cherokee, Ottawa, Craig, Nowata, Montgomery, southern Labette County, back into Chautauqua, Elk County, and up toward Fredonia. We have this little U-shape here of some patchy, dense fog. So, of course, you folks at home know the drill. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Of course, if you're traveling on any of the highways in between here as well, you definitely want to slow down. You need to be cautious out there this morning because these are some pretty big drops in visibility. And because of the formation here, you've got stretches where you'll enter some maybe decent visibility and then it'll drop again. So make sure you're watching out there. On to the future track, though. Clouds will be increasing just like they have the last few days as we go through the morning and into the afternoon. Now, unlike the last couple of days, we will not go mostly cloudy. We will not clear out after midnight. We will not pass go or collect $200 in this case. What we've got is clouds thickening up, and that's going to lock our temperatures in. Then, after midnight, a few things start to happen. Could get some isolated showers. South winds will begin to increase, gusting up to 35 across the area, and those south winds actually going to make our temperatures start to rise after midnight. So that's why we're going to hit highs very early tomorrow morning, and then temperatures are going to begin to fall behind a cold front. A lot going on with that front. A lot of things still, a lot of variables still in play, and I'm going to talk about them now. One of the variables is the biggest one really is the rain. How much we're actually going to get. Now, this is 1 o'clock tomorrow morning, some isolated showers. Most of the computer data suggests or believes that even through 7 a.m., this is about as good as it'll get on rain chances. But there's one computer that says no, it's going to rain a little bit more. And so I'm going to show you that one. But I also want to emphasize this is only one that says this. However, we've seen in the past where that one is correct. That front punches in 5 a.m. Gusty south winds ahead of it, gusty northwest winds behind it. If this scenario plays out, we've got some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out there. If not, then we're looking at just isolated showers. But then the one thing that is guaranteed, once the front pushes through, skies begin to clear, and after 9 a.m., these northwest winds begin ripping across the area. That's why from tomorrow, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursday, we have wind advisories out there because winds could gust, especially in these zones, from 50 to 55 miles an hour. Outside of that, though, those northwest winds could still gust upwards of 45 miles an hour, so a very windy day. It's going to make it feel a lot colder out there as those temperatures fall back behind that front. And with the winds, you've got to be extra cautious on the roadways, especially with high-profile vehicles. As for this morning, again, clouds increasing, about 40 to start, low 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Now look at your forecast and your wake-up recap in a moment, and we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m. South Carolina inmates spreading holiday joy by knitting blankets, hats, and stuffed animals for elderly residents.
This is your Wake Up Recap for December 17th, your top stories to start your day. A house fire on South Pearl Street in Joplin yesterday morning forced the closure of West 7th to allow fire crews access to a hydrant. Thick smoke was visible from nearly a mile away. Witnesses say a man with a ladder helped rescue a teenager trapped on the second-floor balcony. One person suffered smoke inhalation and was transported to the hospital. Fire investigators said the fire was accidental and originated in the kitchen near the stove. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, another warm day out there into the upper 50s, maybe a couple of low 60s. Clouds increasing, south winds 5 to 10. Cloudy through the evening. Our temperatures really just level out. They might move a degree or two either way, but they stay steady. A few isolated showers possible around 10. South winds after midnight gusting to 35. That cold front pushes in, so early highs into the upper 50s. Temperatures falling through the day. A few morning showers possible. And then the big thing after that front pushes through, talking northwest winds could gust across the region anywhere from 45 to 55 miles an hour. So you do need to be cautious, especially if you're traveling, driving a high-profile vehicle, or even low-profile vehicles, regular cars. I mean, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust cutting across you is going to be enough. So do be cautious tomorrow, and skies will clear out, and we start warming up. Christmas, not so white, looking very mild into the 60s.
At least it'll make travel a little bit safer.
It will in this area. If you're traveling, it will be a little easier because at least the roads will be clear.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making roasted prime rib of beef in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings. Having trouble finding that perfect holiday gift? Well, next on CBS Mornings, a look behind the scenes at Google to see how they're making shopping easier and cheaper through artificial intelligence.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, you may know Dasher and Dancer, but how much do you really know about reindeer? Wendy Powell gives us some facts in today's Wildcat Wednesday.
Plus, from skipping new lights to making homemade streamers, how the economy is changing, how families are decorating for the holidays. All right, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. I'm back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.